Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I hope you're all having a good fall break so far. So today, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the person who I interviewed to discuss the relational leadership model and how I feel that this person fits within that mold very well. So Dominic Bordenero is a senior currently at Ball State, and he is someone who's held a lot of leadership roles while on campus. He has been the president, currently serving as the president of Ball State Democrats. He also serves as the vice president of College Democrats of Indiana, and he's the secretary of the Delaware County Young Democrats. So very active politically, very active within the community, both here at Ball State and the state as a whole. And he believes that these positions are positions that position him very well to be a strong leader. And if you look at him through the relational leadership model, it's very easy to see that Dominic is an inclusive leader, he is an empowering leader, and he is an ethical leader. And I believe that by seeing these three traits played out today, you'll also be able to tell that Dominic fits this mold to a T, and that he is a leader that many people should aspire to be like. So as I said, Dominic is the president of Ball State Democrats, and he's had that role since his junior year, so since last year. And one of the ways that he has helped that organization is by making it more inclusive. He as a leader is more inclusive, and he's helped the organization become more inclusive as a result. And one of the ways that he does that is by ensuring that people, regardless of what they think, are accepted within the group. He's created an open dialogue among members so that even if one person in the room feels differently than the rest of the people in the room, they don't feel like they're ostracized from the rest of the group. And this fits very well with what John Coleman said in his 2018 Forbes article, which is entitled The Power of Relational Leadership. And he says that relational leadership is further predicated on empathy, understanding others and meeting them where they are. And during the course of this interview, Dominic made it very clear that while he may not agree with everybody in the room when they're having these discussions, he's never going to be a leader who decides to call someone out and tell them that they're wrong, because he knows that that's not a good and constructive way to have conversation and have dialogue. And he also knows that by doing that, it's entirely possible that he will be shutting someone down who was just trying to give their opinion about something, and to have the ability to give that opinion is very important for people. And so he never wants someone to feel like they can't give their opinion on those things. So that's one of the ways that Dominic fits into this relational leadership model. Now, another way that he does this is through being an empowering leader. So obviously Dominic, as I have said, is the president of Ball State College Democrats, and he has a board that helps him make decisions in terms of what they'll be doing for their meetings and who they may want to bring in to talk at their meetings. But one of the things that he does is he tries to find ways to help other members who are not obviously the president or the vice president, or who are not a part of the board, and get them involved within the meetings. And he is someone who likes to allow people to actually lead meetings with members of the executive board so that they can start to feel confidence in themselves as leaders, and they can start to feel more comfortable within the organization. And he's done this since he became the president of the group, and he is someone who has really helped a lot of people become more confident within these contexts. And this again fits very well within the DiClemente, Levitt, and McClellan article, which they wrote the journal wrote by DiClemente, Levitt, and McClellan in 2017, which is entitled Emotional Intelligence and Positive Organizational Leadership. And here they said that leadership can be practiced within relational contexts with a focus not only on managing negative emotions, but also on promoting positive emotional and organizational climates. So again, throughout the interview, Dominic made it very clear he does not want anybody within his organization to feel like they're being left out, like there's someone who doesn't matter or doesn't have a significant voice within the organization. And so this is one of the ways that he's able to eliminate that from being an issue, is by having them lead these meetings and take part and even create the topics for those discussions so that they can have a vested interest in what's going on, and they can show other students that they are also capable of being leaders. And Dominic is comfortable with that. He wants people to feel like they're leaders. He wants them to be adamant about their desire to lead, because that's what it's all about for him. Now, the final way that Dominic really shows his ability to fit within the relational leadership model is by being an ethical leader. So, of course, within the realm of politics, things often get pretty heated. And Dominic is someone who likes to try to steer away from that tension as much as possible. But he understands that there are times where those tense moments cannot be avoided. And so one of the examples that he gave me was a very recent example when the Ball State Democrats and the Ball State College Republicans were working together to try to get a debate set up between two of the candidates running for Muncie mayor, Dan Ridenour and Terry Whit Bailey. Terry Whit Bailey is the Democrat and Ridenour is the Republican. Now, Ridenour did eventually back out of this debate. It was very close to the day of the debate, and Dominic wasn't happy, and he felt like this wasn't right for the students at Ball State, and so he voiced his opinion online. And he immediately started getting a lot of very negative feedback about this. And it was something that, it hit him very hard. And he wasn't wanting to see this happen. He wanted to just simply be able to tell people what he thought. And he knew that it was going to be challenging to get his message across to them. But he had no idea that this kind of backlash would happen. But what he did that showed that he was an ethical leader is that he did not come back at them with equally negative comments. He worked with them calmly, responded to each of them, explained his point more thoroughly so that they could see that he was not trying to attack Dan Ridenour in any way, but he was just trying to make sure that people understood where he stood and why he felt that it was important for Dan to be involved. So those are the three ways that Dominic was fitting within the relational leadership model, and he is an excellent interview. He's someone who clearly is passionate about what he does, and he knows that this is something that all students should be passionate about. And he tells anyone who wants to get involved to just start getting involved in small ways. Start going to these meetings. Start raising your voice about things, because those are the times when you can really feel like you're making an impact, just as Dominic has had on this campus. So as we discussed, Dominic is an ethical leader, he's an inclusive leader, and he is an empowering leader. And those are the three ways that I believe he fits within this relational leadership model. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your break.